Yep, for sure. And these are the six teams that have already qualified into FSL Elite. As you can see over on your screens, it's Alter Ego Celeste, Galaxy Racer, as well as Renatus White that did qualify through from the Open Circuit leaderboard, as well as the next three teams that made it through in overtime are Cat Aresta, TC Arise, as well as Big Scythe. Last two spots, though, as you mentioned, it's going to be a pretty intense fight, I want to say, especially just looking at most of the results across the board in the brackets. There are a lot of teams that haven't dropped a game yet in wildcard. A lot of teams did go 2-0 yesterday as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see how these strong teams match up against each other.
Yeah, I think that just the nature of wildcards being again a jungle or wild, as we mentioned earlier, it really would show very close matches or very one-sided matches, because it is a free-for-all, right? Like the teams that came here basically fought their way through various groups, and of course that just means that there's a gigantic mix of power levels in the wild card. And I think that's true for any wildcard or last chance qualifier. This is our version of the last chance qualifier for VCT Game Changer Southeast Asia, right? These teams, a lot of them, I would say 4 of them are on the top 4 right now are clearly ahead of the rest, with the exception of Couldn't Care Less. So Couldn't Care Less dropped to the lower brackets, were dropped by KOMOREBI Hearts, but I feel like they could actually make it all the way if matchups, depending on if they're having a good day of aim. I think that they could actually make it all the way as well. So upper bracket teams, we have Vitality Estelle, Med Army, Asteria, and KOMOREBI Hearts. They are clearly a cut above the rest as well, so it's going to be really exciting to see the matchups, especially today.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, probably personal favorites, Asteria and Mad Army as well. I mean, if for all of you guys watching who've been following the FSL Open Circuit from like the start of the year, you will definitely know of the team Mad Army. And I mean, I think most people will wonder like, wait, how is this team not yet in through FSL Elite? But of course, like a whole bunch of roster changes here and there, but definitely got a lot of fans rooting for them this weekend. So the first best of 3, it's going to be Asteria facing off against KOMOREBI Hearts. Yesterday, we did see both of these teams play. I think Asteria had more of a convincing series versus G9. First map that was over on Split, it did end 13-9 in their favor, but then by the time it came around to that second map over on Icebox, they won that one 13-2 super convincingly. And yeah, there's a roster over on your screens right there, but this team, I mean, they haven't dropped a map in wildcard yet, so super impressive. They've also won all of their map picks that have all been on Icebox, and we definitely saw them continue the streak yesterday.
Yeah, and Shrey Wu is definitely one of the players to watch. We've seen her wreck teams time and time again as a top fragging duelist. She is absolutely insane. Yep. Her aim, I think I saw back-to-back aces from her against a long overtime match against Galaxy Racer on Haven, which they eventually lost, but she kept her team in the game for that long. And here's something interesting. KOMOREBI Hearts were against Couldn't Care Less, and Asteria, actually they had some some of the members were playing together at some point, which is why these teams, you kind of thought they would qualify already, but they actually had some roster shuffles, as you mentioned, and because of those roster shuffles, we're seeing different teams now with some, I would say, even better than they were before. So I think these roster shuffles actually help some of the teams, especially maybe it's a reset, maybe it's a better fit. And here's the team that they're coming up against. It's KOMOREBI Hearts, hailing from the Philippines, with one Malaysian player, Kero KV. So it's a mixed Southeast Asian team, of course, but mostly Filipinos. Lolita, Cass, Kero, Strawberry Bagel, Exaki, and Nyarks. So, one thing I realized is a lot of players in FSL have their names after pastry.
Yeah, no, every time we see Strawberry Bagel, I mean, it's not even noon yet. I'm kind of hungry. I'm gonna like go grab some lunch or something real quick. Guys, if you're watching the stream as well, I mean, definitely 1010 would recommend. You've got like 6 minutes to order that McDonald's breakfast for the weekend before they switch over to their lunch menu at 12. Yeah, but it looks like the maps have been picked for the series. It's going to be Split, Ascent, and Haven if the series does go to all three maps. And I kind of want to say that this map pick kind of favors KOMOREBI Hearts. Historically, the team is very good on Split as well as Ascent. So far, I think they're still undefeated on Ascent. They were undefeated on Split up until that 2-1 series versus Couldn't Care Less yesterday, but definitely going to be starting out strong for them with these two first map picks. Key, what do you think? And also, tell me your predictions. Who do you think is going to take the series, and what do you think the score is going to be?
Well, I think that KOMOREBI Hearts are getting their map picks. They really like Split and Ascent. I feel like the big maps are what favor Asteria. So Breeze and Icebox were the banned maps, and Icebox, of course, being their best map. Banned is actually going to be a blow for Asteria, and this is playing to KOMOREBI Hearts' I would say comfort. What's interesting though is that on Split, Asteria are starting in defense, which means that KOMOREBI Hearts actually chose the attacking side. So that to me is actually very interesting because Split is traditionally a very defensive-sided map, or that's how most people perceive it to be. But actually on Split, if you have a very good setup on either side, it's actually favoring the attacking side sometimes, especially if you have the hard flashes to get into the site. It's so hard to get back into a site after they've already been taken by the attackers. So I think that KOMOREBI Hearts are actually ready for this map pick.
All right, guys. Well, joining Key to bring you all the action for the next couple of maps is Kentril. Hey, I'm Quack. Gentlemen, all ears on you.
Morning. I'm
Good
here
morning.
now.
You have a new setup. I see your duck. What's your duck's name?
Newish. Of course, I think we had this one on my bid in the past.
Yeah,
This is
it's a lot
Chungus
closer now.
duck. Yeah, I got like two tiny little duck armies. I don't have a name for them. Not really. But
You don't? What?
Who? I don't know. I don't name every single one of my stuffed toys.
Oh, there's too many of them. I see. Okay. All right. But I mean, nonetheless, how do you feel about today's matchups? I mean, I'm excited for this one because I really want to see. I think that Asteria have the edge because we've seen them in the playoffs time and time again. But KOMOREBI Hearts is one of those teams that really just started coming up, and they look pretty strong. They beat Couldn't Care Less in the upper bracket.
Exactly. They did beat Couldn't Care Less, and that game on its own, it felt a little bit different. You know, sometimes Couldn't Care Less were in front, and then sometimes KOMOREBI Hearts would just catch up, and once they get that momentum going, it's that much more difficult for Couldn't Care Less to react afterwards. So it's one of those things where either team could have actually taken this spot, but KOMOREBI Hearts just proved that they were able to adjust a lot better in that final map. So coming into this one today, I think Asteria is a team that's, you might say they're kind of similar to Couldn't Care Less in terms of their play styles, but it still is reserved. KOMOREBI Hearts, can they actually repeat the same thing that they did yesterday? Because whoever wins this one, they're gonna have to still go up against the other team that are in the upper bracket finals, and that's not gonna be an easy game at all.
Yeah, definitely not. We're gonna have a pastry fight again, right? It's Muffin Loop versus Strawberry Bagel. It's somehow, I mean, I'm pretty sure we saw Muffin Loop versus Donut as well some time ago, and it's just pastry versus pastry here. But which pastry is gonna be favored today? What's your prediction?
I don't know, man. Pastry. I mean, you guys were saying that, yeah, this map pick kind of does favor KOMOREBI Hearts, but then again, the way that Asteria were playing yesterday, they looked so prepared on Split. Of course, Icebox is one of their favorite maps. That was banned by KOMOREBI Hearts, so good choice, girls. But after that, a map like Ascent, the way that these teams play just really seemed to me like it's the fight between this really incredibly fast, unstoppable freight train versus the immovable force. And when they clash, I don't know what's going to happen. Either a team like KOMOREBI Hearts, who tends to play really defensively, they might get shoved. Or if they really just do what they did yesterday, they stayed still, they were really patient, they had those crossfire setups on their sites, that might actually catch some of the Asteria players off guard. If they weren't expecting setups like that and they just walk in blindly, you get picked off, numbers advantage goes to KOMOREBI Hearts.
Yeah.
Then I could kind of see the game going to their way.
To me, that's what's interesting, right? KOMOREBI Hearts known to be a more defensive-sided team. I think most of the Filipino teams are. Um, they picked attack on split,
Yeah.
right? Like means they have something ready. I feel like maybe they're counting on the aggression from Asteria and basically punishing that aggression to get that 1% advantage. I think that's probably going to be what they're going to be doing here.
That could be one of the things, but at the same time, you got to be careful playing on split. Everyone says it's that site that's kind of defender sided. If they come up with a composition or a strategy that doesn't work out too well on the attacking side, when they swap over, they're going to have a lot of catching up to do, and that's something that you don't want to have happen, especially on this map. It can be very defeating and soul crushing if you have to come back like 10 rounds in a row. And of course, Komorebi Hearts, they are a team that is capable of that, but they are also kind of that momentum based team that they really only get going once they have rounds back to back. So here we go, Agent Select, Marquis. I mean, what do you think these teams are going to go for? Are they really going to hover over that double controller setup?
I like the sky that's being highlighted. Oh, looks like something went up with the servers. All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to Agent Select back again in a few, but right now the teams are going to they need to reset up the servers. Probably some disconnection or something, but they just need to reset it up. But we'll be back. They will be back rather. We will be here, and I know split. Seriously, like attacking side. I think we've seen some teams really dominate on this. Particularly Alter Ego Celeste, but that's that's actually
Not here
a very
today.
different story, right? They're not here today, but we can see how some teams can be very good at attacking on split, right? Like with the explosive raise plus a shotgun, really making sure the entry, and even a triple sentinel lineup to actually lock down the site. I mean, split is one of those maps, like I mentioned, it's so difficult to get back into a site. Like just how difficult it is to get into a site, it's also difficult to retake, and it's even more difficult to retake, especially if you don't get any pickouts at first, because it's a 5v5 retake. It's just as difficult as trying to retake A on Haven. That's just
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
5v5, you basically swap sides, and then you're on the
Exactly.
attack, but your opponents are basically already set up, and they don't have to go hunting or anything, which is
Yeah.
why it gets a little bit more insane. But at the same time, a team like Komorebi Hearts, they were basically playing retakes the entire day yesterday. They managed to make it work, and that might be due to some other different circumstances. I mean, at some time, couldn't care less. They were trying out interesting team compositions as well. I mean, they did play split yesterday also, but couldn't care less. We're going with a no duelist setup, which was very interesting, very fun to watch. They did win, so it could be one of those things that works out for them. Komorebi Hearts might struggle on split, especially with the fact that they're starting out on defense. Yesterday, agent composition centered around very standard stuff. We have the Sage, often walling off places like mid, maybe even garage. But then you got Cass, the dedicated controller. She's more often than not Omen, almost always Omen. You don't see her going to something like Astra ever. Lolita, of course, the Raze, and then you got Strawberry Bagel as the secondary duelist, Reyna. So it's the exact same team composition that they used yesterday.
Gosh.
Exact same for the side of couldn't care less. I mean, sorry, of Asteria as well.
Yeah, but let's look at Asteria's map pick. Is absolutely, rather agent selection. I think is absolutely amazing. Like I like the KO plus this guy because I feel like for a map like Split, being able to enter the site is actually really important, and the Sky plus the KO really would allow for that, right? Like the suppression blade will stop any utility that might discourage you from getting in. The hard flashes, the seekers, if you have the ultimate up on the Sky as well, those are all really good tools to get into the site. And I feel like Asteria have a great lineup for the attacking side. Plus, they have two controllers for the defense side: Viper plus Astra, my favorite controller combo.
Oh yes, we love our Astra Vipers. We don't get to see it too often, so it's very nice when the teams actually do pull that off. But the interesting thing is definitely what you said, because we do see a lot of fights being initiated because of the KO. I mean, first of all, she's able to gather information, which during yesterday's game she did do a lot of that. Even if her suppression blade doesn't really pop off, if someone shoots it down, that's also information. At the same time, she really goes in ham with those null command ultimate uses and really just starting fights because of that. But here we go. This is round number 1 now, and already we're seeing these setups. I mean, Astra Star up over by mid, that is a very scary thing because a snake bite combo could come in. But Casper going in for that jiggle peek gets a lot of information. They're trying to stall and slow them down with the nebulas, with the fragment grenades, and it's definitely doing its job because KOMOREBI Hearts are backing off.
And they're already slowing down. They wanted to rush in, but they were immediately discouraged by that nebula, and they just can't go in at this point in time.
Really can't. They have to respect this utility for the time being, but it's also going to burn time down. At the same time, also burning a bit of utility from Asteria, and that could be what they're looking for. Now an opening pick as one of the players gets a little bit too inquisitive. They make a trade happen over by mid, and I think the rotation should be called out now. They're going towards A.
Yeah, great call there, but there's a flank already coming in from the side of Asteria. That Astra is already all the way to the attacker spawn. I think Killjoy's probably gonna hear this. Alright, Meow 16k with the first kill. Executes Meow 16k. They finally get the spike down. It's a 3v3. This Killjoy might catch the lurk. Karo slowly creeping up. Let's see if she can catch the Astra before the Astra catches any of her teammates. Casper slowly creeping up to the side. They might just miss each other here. As she turns the corner, yes, she does miss the Astra. Casper gets 1 kill. Oh, but she does catch KO. Britzy gets taken down. 2v2 right now. It's all up to Casper.
Casper trying to wrap around the pillar, coming up from elbow, but the long-range duels, and somehow Karo is just ready for this, nailing her down with the headshot and the extra lurks as well. She nets a triple kill at the end of the first round. So, of course, KOMOREBI Hearts winning the pistol, that's great stuff, but with 2 Sentinels getting all of those kills, it's great stuff for their ultimate economy as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you really want that lockdown. In split, it's very difficult to get into a side. So we've seen this from other teams as well, right? When they can't get into the site, they're trying to look for their picks. They're going defaults, and they're just too slow to get into a site. A lockdown just immediately, locks them out of the site and basically runs the timer down. And I think that's really good for teams that don't have a clear execute. But it looks like the defenders have a very nice rush down mid here. But look at Karo, actually spots a little bit of that. Has to go all the way around. They know that they're pushing here. And the rest of KOMOREBI Hearts just funnel into the site. They're keeping their distance.
And that's exactly what they want to do. They're zoning them out, and as soon as they hear and get a little bit of that extra information, Paranoia comes in, disables 2 players, double kill, not able to get the third, but Strawberry Bagel is there to trade things off, and that leaves Britzy alone all over by Garage, separated from her pack. I think it's about time that KOMOREBI Hearts start going hunting, but again, look at how disciplined they are. They're just waiting for information, and of course, seeing the blade come out, she knows where she's coming from. Easy spray down for Strawberry Bagel, and I guess she riddles her full of holes, so very standard start, but we're just seeing this kind of aggression coming in from Asteria, and that's something that they're known to do, and I think KOMOREBI Hearts expect that.
I see a judge from Meow 16k.
Oh man,
you remember this? Judge on split?
I've seen it before. We saw a little bit of it yesterday. Yesterday she was using the satchels and a shorty, and she actually got at least 1 kill. This time she's upgrading it up to a judge. Could be very different.
I like what you said about KOMOREBI Hearts, though. Discipline. That's really what it is. Karo actually saw the push down mid, and what did she do? She went all the way around the defender spawn just to go back and connect with their team again, instead of trying to go for the kills and getting picked off and dropping that gun. That is the discipline that you need, right? Like, because once you drop that Spectre, it starts to give Asteria a chance to get back into the game. Once to get 1 big gun, that actually closes the gap between the guns between the 2 teams. And I think that discipline is actually what really made sure that the round was as clean as it could be. They only lost 1 player in that round.
The only thing that I'm kind of worried about in that scenario is what happens when Asteria switch the pace up, and that could be what they're doing right now, looking at how they're positioned on the minimap. They're not moving around that much. In fact, they're really just trying to stall for time, and KOMOREBI Hearts, a team that plays this defensively, if the timer goes down to about 30 seconds, and then you have to push into a site, that can really turn the heat up. And when you're that pressured, you could make some mistakes. So I don't know. Discipline is one thing, but they kind of have to be decisive as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is their bonus round though, so I think they should at least try something like rushing with a Spectre onto A. I think that's the call right now. They do have some people on B heaven trying to make some noise just to stop some defenders from pushing too far. 3 defenders are still on B. They do take down Strawberry Bagel. Cass gets taken down as well. Muffin Loop with the Phantom is deadly. Good for 2. Tries to get a third one. Lolita, however, gets a headshot onto Meow16k. That judge is not going to do that much damage from that far. 2 seconds, 1 second left on the clock. Casper takes Lolita down, but Karo gets a kill off her own. She's going to get taken down by Casper in the end. But Asteria, 3 members left alive. I think KOMOREBI Hearts would have wanted a spike plant down there, but that was their bonus round, so they can buy this round still. Their economy is pretty good.
Not too bad. Not yeah, pretty good. I mean, they lose this round, they could still go for, I don't know, sheriffs at the very least. But I don't. My prophecy foretold. If they play that defensively, if they are that, I don't know, disciplined, not sure of how they want to commit onto a site without information, it really does cost them a lot of time. And you see that happening right there. They cannot get the spike down. So coming into this round, they really need to be a little bit more sure of themselves. Sometimes playing against a team like Asteria, who are just that good at adapting, you need to force them to make mistakes as well. So maybe a site execute here might overwhelm the players on B, but who knows? They're already prepared. I mean, Britzy up with her fragment. I can see Snake Bites or Astra Stars coming in as well. And right now, they know that the KOMOREBI Hearts players are up over by Garage.
Oh, look at that pull. Alright, Gravity Well does pull Lolita in, but they don't get any bullets down. Both teams perfectly healthy still. But you see all the utility stopping KOMOREBI Hearts from coming in. There's a flash again from Britzy. Casper takes Lolita down. Cass gets 1. Strawberry Bagel, 1 each. And Casper evens it out. Karo takes Casper down finally. And they are going to get a spike down soon.
Very nice. This was the decisiveness that they needed. That execute just as soon as the utility goes out. They rush onto the site and they take every player down with them. So now numbers advantage over onto KOMOREBI Hearts. They just need to secure these 2 more kills. Meow16 though, she's looking for them and she's trying to clear out every single corner before going in for it. Muffaloon does make it a little bit of a trade. A dink on towards Karo as well. Should have called out the information that Exakis is there, and that's why she's able to nail that headshot. Still, though, she's up against Karo. With 10 HP remaining, she will not be able to secure the final one, and Meow16 puts the nail in the coffin, winning the round for her team 2-2 now.
That was absolutely well played by Meow16k. Like, she knew that there were 2 people hiding in that cubby there. Well, I guess a little bit of game sense. Probably knew it was going to be a crossfire. Spotted Karo's beanie. Faked the defuse to lure out the stage. Exakis eventually swung, but got bullet to the head. And that was just really well played by her. I think Meow16k, she should just stick to her rifle. I mean, she's lethal with that.
She really is. I mean... I think the one thing that really happened for them was the fact that Muffin Loop was able to get information towards the back site for her. And, I mean, she just goes in with those flicks and she's able to nail every single shot. So if the same thing can happen, I don't think B side is the answer anymore for KOMOREBI Hearts because they've been approaching this site for the past, 2-3 rounds now. And Casper is that sharp as well. A pre-aimed crosshair, and she's able to stop the first initial push.
That was like a fadeaway. She was strafing out to safety. Like, I think that's what makes good anchors, right? Like, you take a shot, you get into safety as soon as possible, you can't get traded. And that's how she got a kill. She just faded away from that corner there and got the headshot through the tiny corner. And now it's a 5v4 thanks to that.
Tiny little bits of movement, right? And then at the same time, you got to credit her. That is an amazing angle that all these girls are playing right now. Casper, you got Meow16k just up over by Vents, going in with those strafe jiggle peaks, and she's able to take some shots without exposing herself too much. And now Casper, seeing that they're all coming from Garage, this is just a firing range for her at this point. Exakis, the last player alive, down to 5 HP. At this point, It's just, you know, watching Tom and Jerry. It's where you dig out your own grave, put the smoke in your mouth, and just start praying.
Does Tom and Jerry actually still air? I'm actually
I think
curious.
they got the new one.
Oh
There
yeah,
was
there's a
that
new one.
movie that came out a while ago.
I need to cue that up. But look at Casper, 9 kills already for this Astra. Like really being the anchor for the team. Like Britzy also helps a lot out with her flashes, and they really have a good read of where KOMOREBI Hearts are coming, because they're rotating Britzy a lot with those flashes and suppression blades. She gets a lot of information and buys a lot of time for her team as well.
Oh man. And right now, they're just making the right reads as well. First it was B, now it's A. They confirm it because of the Hawk, and Meow16 is allowed to go in for that showstopper frag. And now they're hunting the remaining members down as well. Exekeys a little bit separated. She's going to get shot off. Lolita just trying to back up and maybe create a little bit of space between her and Britzy so that she can find a simple shot. But Britzy is on a tear. Double kill now at this point. And once more, Cairo is the last player remaining. What can she do though? She's all the way up over by Market. The spike is all the way in sewers, and there are 2 players just watching that thing.
Yeah, this is the aggression that we expected from Asteria, right? We thought KOMOREBI Hearts would be ready for that, but the showstopper plus the flashes, it's just really difficult to hold that. And that was great execute by Asteria onto from the attacking side, right? From the flash to the showstopper, it just KOMOREBI Hearts were not ready for that, and that really damages their economy because they actually bought that round. And if you look at their buys right now, 1 Bulldog, 1 Spectre, and 3 rifles, still passable, I would say, but it's gonna be difficult against Asteria, especially with the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, it's they might the one saving grace that they have is that they have 4 ultimates up, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough. I mean, so far we talked about this earlier on. It really seems like KOMOREBI Hearts, they're shaking right now. I mean, when they're met with the excuse me, when they're met with the freight train that is Asteria, they are forced to basically move and get out of the way, and that really hurts them in the process. They cannot play their play style that they're so used to right now. Right now, they're going for that bit of a default 3 players towards garage. I mean, you got Exekeys rotating back towards mid. But again, Asteria are just changing things up in terms of pace. Last round, they were aggressive. This time, they're playing it very careful. And at the same time, it's the same setup. Casper over by B, and she's changing up her positions as well. Previously, she was backside. This time, she's behind the pillar, so she can escape if she needs to. They get a little bit of information. They sense that they're players towards mid, and here comes the stalls. At this point, KOMOREBI Hearts, if they don't start making a decision, they might have a tough time getting the spike down, but here we go.
Yeah, look at that Gravity Well, really buying a lot of time for a team. It's a 1-for-1 trade though, as Strawberry Bagel gets the trade. Cairo gets a kill of her own as well, and it's starting to look good for KOMOREBI Hearts. They are all over the place though. They are sandwiching every single Asteria member, but it seems like Cass is gonna get taken down, so the spike is gonna go down on site. And Asteria have the advantage here. Britzy is gonna take 1, but she gets traded by Strawberry Bagel. 2v1 right now, and Casper makes it a 1v1. She still has 1 star to actually use the Gravity Well. Cairo has the spike.
Right,
She's gonna have to plant it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
She's second guessing herself, so
Yeah.
saving the Vandal instead. Oh man.
I think she
mean,
thought that Casper crept back into the site.
Possibly, but I mean, even then, you have to make a decision between either saving your Vandal or just trying to stick the spike plant regardless. And you know, maybe getting that extra 300 credits might do you some good. But I think it's really telling that they're in KOMOREBI Hearts' heads at this point.
Yeah, you can see it. Like, especially after the first 2 rounds that KOMOREBI Hearts won, it seemed like they just couldn't decide, or like right now they can't decide where to go, or like they're not decisive anymore like the first 2 rounds. Like you mentioned, the decisiveness is lacking, and for a map like Split on the attacking side, you have to be extremely decisive. There's no room for, well, split decisions here. You have to be very sure of going to a site because it's difficult to get in. And by starting on the attacking side, I expected a bit more of executes and setups from KOMOREBI Hearts, and it seems like Asteria are just a bit too difficult to break right now.
Definitely difficult. I mean, it's the exact same setup, and if it ain't broke, they're not fixing it. They're just keeping Casper on B. You got Britzy plus Stray Uwu over by Mailroom, and it's doing a perfect job. I mean, look at this. 0 points shows out, and 3 players get suppressed. They have no choice but to back up, but the one saving grace right now is Strawberry Bagel as she finds an opening pick with her Sheriff somehow. Might actually be able to retrieve the weapon as well as she pushes back in towards Elbow. Secures the site, but the only thing they got to watch out for is Ramps right now. Meow 16K slowing things down with her paint shells, trying to secure the final player as she tries to walk around to site. Spike still will go down though, and now it's going to be a retakes game. Not an easy one though for KOMOREBI Hearts.
Yeah, Cass used her ultimate to get into the site, but immediately thinks to go back out just to try and catch someone there still. If they didn't hear her cancel her ultimate, I think she might be able to get Meow 16K if the timing favors her. Okay, maybe not.
I was kind of hoping for it. I mean, it's not impossible just yet, but oh man, as soon as they walk on the side, plus this Cosmic Divide, at this point they know where she is, and that just makes things that much more difficult for KOMOREBI Hearts, and you have to give credit where it's due. Casper, the catalyst for her team, the controller. I mean, she's doing her job controlling so much space that one Cosmic Divide just meant that Kaz would have a tougher time. You know, even if she wanted to play with timing, it's just like 50% more difficult.
Yeah, I like the celebratory spin from Shrey as well in the end, and something really interesting here. Shrey is actually on the Viper and not a duelist. Like, I wanted to point it out earlier, but it's actually really, I guess, refreshing. Like, look, they have a different duelist now, Meow 16K, and she's doing really well for herself. But I think right now, really the one to watch is Casper. Like, she's actually been amazing on the Astra. Like, we used to see Muffin Loop on the controllers, but this role switch is looking really good for Seer right now. Oh, Strawberry Bagel gets caught by Muffin Loop, trying to throw out a Leer there. Meow 16K gets a nade kill as well. Now it's down to 5v2. There's the showstopper getting used as well. Meow 16K gets caught. No one is there to peek.
No one's there to peek. Britzy's there to back her up, and that just makes things a little bit tougher. Detain has gone away now, and all that's left, again, it's Cairo. It's a tough situation to be in, and I did not expect Stray Uwu to be coming around the back from sewers. She had the Viper's Pit up over by Mailroom as well, and that's just... Oh man, this is a tough game for KOMOREBI Hearts. Big Savage moments. They had a full buy that round as well, so now being forced to save up. Marquis, this is devastating. 7 rounds in a row that they've lost.
I was gonna say this is like, you know, I'm sure anyone who's played ranked or enough will feel this. Like, you get off to a good start, and then all of a sudden you just can't buy a round, and then you just feel the impending doom of like,
oh man,
when are we next gonna get a round? And look, KOMOREBI Hearts, they're just getting punished left and right. It is a save round for them. Yeah, the flashes, they're just so good at playing together here on Asteria, and I think that's something that we haven't seen from them this polished before. Look at their utility usage. I think that's the biggest difference here right now.
Incredibly different team altogether. I mean, they're so confident, so comfortable that they're just going hunting at this point, but okay. A little bit of a wood spray from Britzy. It's going to be Strawberry Bagel who capitalizes off of it. No support from teammates, though. In fact, they have to make a quick move because right now they sense that there isn't a single player on B. If they can get the spike down, they might be able to change things up a little bit. It all depends on whether or not Asteria read this and they push in towards Mailroom. But okay, they're actually wrapping around through Market. We leave the Reyna player up on the site itself. Meanwhile, it's going to be a fake. She's trying to go on a long journey on towards A site, but I don't know how that favors the numbers game. Strawberry Bagel trying to stay alive using the dismiss, but it's not going to be enough. Stray Uwu will hunt her down, and that puts us in a 1 versus 2 situation. She can play with time a little bit, but her utilities, she only has blast packs remaining, Key.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to have to come down to raw aim and getting that, isolating 2 1v1s, right? Lolita has to make sure that she catches them one at a time. And for Asteria's side, it's whether they can actually force the trade instead. So they're pushing together. This is the right way to play for Asteria. Lolita, she has to get some really lucky time
Oh,
here.
no.
Unfortunately for her, it
Oh,
was just a
wait.
sliver of a second. She gets Meow 16k, and this is what she needs. It's a 1v1 right now, but she's gonna have to take the drop if she wants to make this trade. Oh, she does get a timing. That was just really smart. She threw the blast pack to kind of like distract Shrey. Like, I'm not coming down yet, but she actually swings wide instead and takes Shrey down. This is what KOMOREBI Hearts need. Like, you don't spiral into a 2-10 and then go into the defensive side like with a really bad score. I think if they can get 4 on the attacking side, that's probably good enough for them. You know, you mentioned KOMOREBI Hearts is very good at defense, and I do agree with that. And I think that they chose the attacking side just so that they could get the attacking side out and over with as they go into the defensive side.
Yeah, right. I mean, if they can get this round 8-4, I'd be happy with that. 7-5 is even better, but 8-4 is pretty good enough, especially on a map like Split. And watching the way that they're playing right now, this inspires confidence because even when their backs are against the wall, they are able to secure themselves and feel this sense of like, all right, we're not giving up, girls. We can get this game. We just need a few more rounds, and they're actually able to do it off of plays like that. I mean, it's a 2v3 situation, and they managed to turn that around. But here we go. This time it's a whole new round, and Asteria are playing the same setup. It's just the difference in terms of pacing. Cairo is going on a bit of a lurk journey. She gets spotted out, and she knows that Meow 16k is still up over by ramp. So trying to bait out that paint shells perhaps, but it's not going to be deployed just yet. The rest of the team, though, moving up towards mid. They get met with the stars, with Shrey Uwu's headshots, and all of that just got turned away. 4 players remaining, the res comes in, but instantly a response from Asteria. They're looking to take the remaining members down.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they're a bit stuck at mid. They really just can't buy an entry into the site. Reyna trying to get into the B side, trying to get into that through that Viper's wall there. Sees Casper, takes her down. This is exactly what they need. B side is now open. Heaven is not safe though. They do have the site itself, but they're gonna need to take down the KO on Heaven here. Britzy gets taken down, but Shrey and Muffin Loop get 1 kill apiece. Karo gets 1 kill, and they can't get the spike down. Too late for KOMOREBI Hearts. It's exactly what you mentioned. If they take too much time, they're just forced into a play that they don't like, and that was exactly it. That's what happened. They couldn't get the spike down. They couldn't clear Heaven. They cleared the site, but you know, Spike was stuck in middle, and because they weren't decisive enough, they really just run out of time, and you can't get the spike down.
Oh, Marky, I don't know. Do I see an economical error? Cass and Exekeys? Could Cass have bought up the heavy shields and Exekeys drop her the Guardian, right?
You are exactly right. I was gonna point it out. She should buy light armor. I mean, they could both have Vandals, right?
True that, but that is what they've gone with, so they're gonna have to work with it somehow. But Muffin Loop is just gonna make it a lot more difficult. Still, though, Strawberry Bagel very aggressive, pushing up ramp. She's going to take the initiative on towards Meow 16, but Muffin Loop is the one that they still have to deal with. And then the rotation's already underway. KOMOREBI Hearts, they're stuck and pinned down on the other side of ramps at this point. Oh my God! With the shots on the operator as well, Kaz now separated from her team. It's all up to Strawberry Bagel. She does have the Empress though, but does not expect a player to be jumping up on the boxes, and then Muffin Loop coming in from ramps as well. 9-3 at the end of the first half, and you see some moments, some lights, some glimpses of hope from KOMOREBI Hearts, but coming down to it again, once they feel that pressure, once they start to sweat, it's difficult for them to go on the offense.
Yeah, it looks like maybe this is the side that they're going to excel in, right? Like you mentioned, they're good defenders, but with the way Asteria are playing, it looks like they might have given up a bit too many rounds even on the attacking side. I know we didn't expect that much from attacking side on Split, but you have 6 rounds to catch up, and that leaves very little room for error. Like at most, you probably can only lose 2 rounds, and hopefully not in a row.
They did it yesterday, kind of, against Couldn't Care Less, but it wasn't on Split. And that's kind of why I was worried before the game started. And seeing how they're playing right now, it's a very standard setup, very standard composition as well. But one thing is that if they can actually read the situation correctly and rotate the parts on the map itself, they might just be able to stop whatever Asteria is trying to throw at them. Currently, though, in towards the A side, you got 3 players already walking past and crossing on towards the site itself. It seems like they're gonna be playing retakes once more, but against a team like Asteria, it's a little bit different because already you see on the mini-map moving parts. I think she heard Casper possibly going into astral form as well, so trying to preemptively watch the angle. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more difficult because Casper's jiggle peeking. Here comes the paint shells, though. It's going to be fireworks, and 2 players get taken off the roster. Lolita makes it a bit of a trade, but we're back into the game, and still numbers favor Asteria.
Yeah, and they're pushing out of the smoke. They do get one apiece though, but Shrey actually trades Cass out. Strawberry Bagel has to play his 1v3. It is the Reina, but that Frenzy is not going to be that effective at range. And Shrey with a triple kill. This is what I was afraid of, right? You lose the pistol round, you probably lose the next round as well. You're forced to buy here if you're KOMOREBI Hearts. Look, they're buying right now. And if they lose this round as well, they'll have no money in the next round, and it's match point.
Yeah, it's tough situation. You're faced with a conundrum. I mean, do you save and just play it with 11-3 score, or do you force buy and hope that you can win? But even if you do win, you got a lot of rounds to come back from. If you lose, that's just even worse. And right now, Suppression Blade comes in. It catches Strawberry Bagel. They know where she is. They spot her out, and they're trying to spray her down, and they will. I mean, you don't need the highlighted outlines through the walls at all. It's just perfect sensing of where she might be running towards. I mean, there's only one gap in towards A Heaven. So the rest of the team now trying to rotate over and play retakes. But again, they might have some Spectres, but they don't have heavy armor, and that's the one difference maker here.
Yeah, I don't like having to go for retakes on split, and that's a 1-for-1 trade for Exekeys, but the crossfire between Muffin Loop and Meow 16k, not looking good for KOMOREBI Hearts. It is 11-3 right now, and KOMOREBI Hearts, they might be just forced to... I mean, at this point, do you decide to skip this round and force the next, or it seems like you're buying this round? They're just going to force every single round from here.
Is that a good call, though? I don't know, but them playing on defense, there is a chance that they could make it work because they'll be holding angles. Still, though, the way that Asteria are playing right now, I mean, it's incredibly fast. If A works, they're going for it again. And at the same time, they have their post-plant setups. We saw that crossfire, and that's a site that's very, very difficult to break past. Right now, Asteria maybe changing things up a little. They're leaving Shrey Uwu to go for a bit of information, at least delaying the rotates. And that's where they could really cripple KOMOREBI Hearts, because they're a team that loves to go for those retake plays. Right now, Shrey Uwu just going a little bit slower. She's able to take one player down. She gets traded by Cass, but still numbers and damage have been done. But here comes Strawberry Bagel with the judge. She takes the spike carrier down, tries to go back for more, but Casper just hunts her down. And again, numbers advantage to Asteria, Marquis.
Yeah, that judge in that position is really normally only good for 1 kill. I think the dismiss could have been used better to tuck herself into elbow. But I think that her just missing and coming back to the same spot really just set her up for... I mean, she didn't have any teammates to bail her out of there. And she had to fight at range against Spectres. So I think that just really trapped her there. KOMOREBI Hearts have to pull something out of the hat here with these 2 Spectres. But Meow 16k has the Phantom, gets the kill at range. And Muffin Loop is going to secure match point for her team. 12-3 right now for Asteria. And they're looking really good.
Very solid gameplay from Asteria. I mean, we talk about their coordination. We see Shrey Uwu, even on her own, she's able to do her job, at least take 1 player down. And that really did the job. I mean, it slowed down the rotations from KOMOREBI Hearts. By the time Exekeys and Cass managed to get on the A site, the spike was already down. Post-plant positions were already set up. At the same time, Strawberry Bagel with the judge, she was able to slow the offense down by a little bit. But like you said, right, she could have used a dismiss better. I think even then, Even if she tried to go in towards elbow, Muffin Loop was already ready from that spot. She sent the Hawk out to slow things down even further. And this is where we're seeing Asteria really come into fruition. Every single play, every single bit of utility that they're spending, it's all working out beautifully. Right now, they call the site clear. They might not know that Strawberry Bagel's hiding in towards elbow, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna clear it out somehow. She's able to get one, but has to dismiss away, and she's down 20 HP. Kairo's trying to do some damage as well with the Spectre from long range. She gets a double, and all of a sudden things have turned awry for Asteria because KOMOREBI Hearts and Kaz, they are playing in terms of different kinds of movements and paces. They come in and out of the site with the dismiss, with Kairo, and the rushes are just starting to dissipate from Asteria.
Yeah, might be too little too late, but you know, I'm looking at KOMOREBI Hearts again, and Cass is light armor and bought a rifle. It's another economy thing, right? Okay, there you go. Teammate buy her, yes. That's exactly what you need. But I was gonna say Asteria, I thought they were on an extended bonus round, but I guess they really weren't, and I don't think they were ready for the quick flank from Caro, and I think that's exactly what KOMOREBI Hearts needed. Hopefully, it's not too little too late because they are on match point, and there's zero room for mistakes at this point. You have to win out 8 rounds in a row to send us to overtime.
That's a lot of rounds, Marquis. I don't know. But again, we saw this yesterday from Asteria. They have those lineups on the A site. If not for a Poison Orb, it's going to be a Viper's Pit. And it's a very, very tough one to deal with. At the same time, the spike is getting delivered to B. KOMOREBI Hearts, they're getting fooled right now.
Yeah, this is the biggest debate I've seen in FSL, and it's absolutely insane how well they're selling this fake. Look, the B side is completely free. They are, kind of. No, there's still 3 on A. So it's not a complete read, it's more like a let's check it out. Okay, so they know that the plant is on B. But look, the defenders are so confused. Like, should we just completely commit onto the B side? But look, Caro gets one but does not take Shrey down. They have to go to the B side right now to actually defuse the spike here. They can't spend too much time. Okay, Strawberry Bagel finally gets the monkey off their back, but Casper evens things out. 3v3 right now. Britzy with the flash. Oh my god, they're buying so much time.
God, at this point, I don't know, maybe about 20 seconds left, and then the showstopper comes in. Casper, they have that crossfire setup as well, and Strawberry Bagel leaving her back a little bit exposed. Meow16k knows it, goes in with the Sheriff, and of course securing the 13-4 win for her team. Asteria takes split. This was a really tough game for KOMOREBI Hearts, and I think it's very evident on the scoreboard as well.
I was gonna say, just look at the scoreboard, look at all the green on top. It just really goes to show how solid Asteria are, and KOMOREBI Hearts, hopefully in their map pick in the next map, they can get something back here. It's gonna be, I believe, Ascent, and KOMOREBI Hearts, they do love that map, but Asteria, you can't discount them. They're great players, and the thing is, they look so much better in terms of their utility usage, in terms of their teamwork than KOMOREBI Hearts in this map.
It's something that you have to, I think, study. I mean, if you were KOMOREBI Hearts, I don't know if you have a coach or not, but you need to analyze and watch yesterday's games or whatever else you could find on Asteria, because right now they're looking like a team that is exceptionally prepared. You know, coming in towards sites like A on Split, they have those lineups, they have all these different strats in mind, and especially once they get the spike down, the post plants, the crossfires that they have, I don't know how to break that without utility. It's very, very difficult to try and retake a site from a team like Asteria. And KOMOREBI Hearts, a team that often plays really defensively, often going in for retakes, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult, and that's where I think they need more rounds on attack. They need to be a little bit more decisive.
Yeah, even in the defending side, I felt like they gave up the side too easily, to the point that they needed to play a retakes again, which clearly was not their best suit. So they're gonna have to choose, right? Like, either stand their ground and go for those picks, go for those trades. That's something that Asteria did really well. Like, they also changed the pace a lot, and that's something that we haven't seen from many teams in FSL, besides Alter Ego Celeste, of course, being the exception, where they control every single tempo. But that's what we're seeing from Asteria right now, and from this map alone and yesterday's games, you could tell that they've improved quite a bit in terms of their discipline, in terms of their defensive sides. Look, their defense had a mix of defaults, offensive pushes, and strong holds, and it's just amazing to watch because the fact that they're running KO plus the Sky as well really shows that they've grown their age and selection, and they've learned how to use utility so efficiently. And KOMOREBI Hearts did not have an answer for that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think I remember games from maybe at the start of the year, they would still go for that Phoenix pick. But now that Sky has gotten her buffs, I mean, maybe a little bit of balance changes most recently, but it's still very, very potent. You got your Seekers, they get information, and the way that they're using those flashes, man, I mean, every single bit of utility from Asteria has been looking really, really solid, really effective. If they don't get, solid information, at the very least they will be able to call a site clear, and they still flush people out of corners. I mean, we saw, I think at the very last round on the A site, they would go in, they would call it clear, but they would still check elbow, and that's why they're a team that is very, very prepared. And if you're KOMOREBI Hearts, you need to do something. You need to be prepared for a team like Asteria. You need to know, have a sense of like what they might be doing, because if you're going into this blind, it's very difficult. I just I don't know how you're going to be able to read and adapt to whatever Asteria has just like on the go, right?
Yeah. And they are going to go for a short break, and so are we. So we'll be right back after as well. Let's see if KOMOREBI Hearts have it in them to take map number 2 on Ascent. Welcome back, everybody, to VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia. We are in the upper bracket semifinals between Asteria and KOMOREBI Hearts. We are coming into map number 2, and joining me for map number 2 is Seora. So say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again into this fight. If I'm not mistaken, this is a steer between KOMOREBI Hearts, and into the previous match, which I was able to watch in time. It was a whopping 13-4 scoreline, so you can definitely see the dominance that Asteria is coming at here, and also gaining some win rates in towards split. So I did hear a bit from earlier that they were not able to isolate their fights. They were also really dominant for the sake of Asteria here, and like what Quack has mentioned earlier, that they really needed to really look in towards those videos that have happened yesterday to try and counter out Asteria. But right now, Key, what do you think about our next match?
I think that for the next match, if KOMOREBI Hearts feel a bit more comfortable on Ascent, they might be able to take the map. But from map number 1, it looks like Asteria have the better firepower and teamwork. And at that point in time, what else do you have in the bag, right? Like, sometimes you can overcome firepower with superior utility usage, superior teamwork, maybe trades, maybe making sure that you always go for that 1-for-1 or 2-for-1 trade. But we can see that Asteria were just better at trading, they're better at utility usage, they also had better aim. And for map number 1, maybe KOMOREBI Hearts just weren't ready for split. So maybe we can see them on Ascent, but besides being prepared and having a bit more confidence, especially on their attacking side, I'm not sure what else KOMOREBI Hearts can do, because if you're not decisive or confident in your holds or in your pushes, then you're going to lose on both sides. And Asteria, you can see their confidence. And for a lot of shooter games, and Valorant especially, confidence is really key into getting an edge over your opponent. If you're not sure of what you're doing, then you tend to aim half-heartedly, you tend to use utility half-heartedly. If you go into a side half-heartedly, it's really not going to work. And KOMOREBI Hearts, they need to give their all.
Definitely. And do know for the side of KOMOREBI Hearts, they were able to win their map out in towards Ascent. So that's an interesting feat here. Maybe this time this could be the map that can be comfortable for them. But then again, Asteria here is started off with a very dominating performance, and that also keeps their momentum going. So that's also a factor that they need to watch out for, because like you mentioned, at the end of the day, it's still aim duels that may win or create the plays for both sides of the team. So right now, Asteria basically has the tendency to not hesitate in terms of rotating the sites, especially if it's needed be. So with Ascent is basically not too big but not too small of a map. You can really have control, especially on towards middle site. And if they capitalize on that, I'm pretty sure that Asteria will do just fine. But this for the side of KOMOREBI Hearts, they need to think of ways to counter this out. Like, sure, you did mention from the previous match they were forced in a position wherein they need to go for retakes because of the aggression that Asteria was basically imposing upon them. So in towards Ascent, we do have this pattern wherein if you already secured your post plant positions in one of the sites, it's guaranteed that they're just going to wait for you to go and try to defuse if ever you are the defenders. So what do you think can KOMOREBI Hearts do here? Because we've seen time and time again that Asteria, they have their discipline. So do you have anything in mind that they can use or to utilize for this?
I think, like you mentioned, mid control is actually quite important there. If they can take mid control against Asteria, that can that makes the attack come from two fronts, and I think that's something that they didn't do very well on Split, because it's actually difficult to do that on Split. Mid control is the most difficult thing to do on Split. In Ascent, it's a bit easier, especially on the attacking side. So making sure that they come from two fronts on the attack side will split Asteria's utilities, and I think that's what they need, because they've been choked over and over again by Asteria's utility, their flashes, the snake bites, the smokes, and KOMOREBI Hearts just couldn't find an entry to the site. I think that was the biggest problem for them. So they do need to be a bit more decisive and take a little bit more map control. That's something that Asteria did really well on Split. It's small pockets of control on Split, but slowly but surely they're just taking control of every single corner they could find on Split, and that's what really choked KOMOREBI Hearts out.
Yeah, indeed. So right now, this is Ascent. So do you have any lineups of agents in mind that you think would basically, work well or create wonders for both sides of the teams?
I think Sky. I'm just gonna say, I'm probably gonna say Sky for almost every single map except Haven. For Haven, I'm probably gonna say Phoenix, but Sky is just so good at really entering the site. Like the flash into a site blinds almost every single angle, and you immediately get a foot in the door, which is exactly what you need for the A site. For B, it at least clears everyone into the site, so you can take smaller fights basically. On the attacking side, that's exactly what you need, and for the defensive side, the flash also tells you if there's someone there. So I just think Sky is too good of an agent to pass up on, and I think not many teams in FSL have picked up the Sky yet, but I'm very, very happy that Asteria have, and we can see that it's really effective for them.
Definitely. And yeah, also considering as well, I think there may be a Sova as well online, because you really need that intel. You need that information gathering so that you can have a gist, or you can have an idea to how these teams are going to do their play. How are they going to rotate a certain side? How are they going to establish themselves in a certain area so that they can basically win their duels? And a thing is as well, in terms of smokes, maybe Omen can also be a good ground, to say the least, so that they may have more coverage that they can get and deny any like rush on pushing in a certain site. You also can consider, to me personally, in terms of duelist, Reyna and Raze, because for the Raze per se, the satchels can really go a long way. The mobility that this provides, and the map area that it can really be useful to really keep your opponents off guard, especially with those amazing plays, because we've seen that like even on group stages and up to yesterday as well. So the fact that they are able to utilize these types of agents can also be a factor to their winning conditions. So now I guess we're gonna head on straight to our second match, potentially a match point, if I'm not mistaken, for Asteria, if they were able to go for a sweep. But no, there's also the possibility where KOMOREBI Hearts can pop off, because there are moments like that where okay, maybe first game not your cup of tea, maybe it's to try and remove the jitters, or not, if not jitters, like getting warmed up, and maybe force a game number 3.
Maybe the coffee hasn't kicked in for them. I mean, sometimes it's like that, right? Like your first game is just like, okay, first game, shake off. If they can shake off the nerves, I do believe that they can take a game. And I do like the agent matchup, agent lineup rather, that you're proposing. Raze, Reyna, Sova, Sky, and then maybe a Killjoy to defend the site. I think that's probably the lineup that I was thinking of as well. I think that's probably my ideal here. But we're gonna have to see whether the teams are actually going to be bringing those out. I mean, we've seen some interesting lineups on Ascent as well. Like sometimes
Yeah.
we see the Astra, but I really like the Sova. I mean, personally, I use the Sova as well. We've seen some players, especially I like to bring up Jesse Vash from Bren.
Yes, yes.
One of the really golden examples of using a Sova on Ascent and even using that Odin to perfection. You can use it on A or B even, because the boxes, the Radiant boxes on A are actually penetrable with the Odin,
they're
so
well
it's actually
done.
really effective. So I think that proper Sova usage is really important here as well. But I think Sova plus Sky will really be the best initiator combination on Ascent.
Definitely, it has been quite the combo for these two utilities, because not only just provide information with those flashes and those recon bolts and the drone, but also the utilities as well. It really complements the map as like Ascent. So at the end of the day, it's more as well of how they execute their utility usage as well, as you mentioned, and their performance overall. And this is going to be interesting, because I'm excited for both sides of our team. But like, let me ask you, Key, since you were able to cast the previous match, who do you think is going to win the second one?
Well, judging from map number 1, it's just going to be a clear Asteria for me. I think they're just, with the way they show their agent picks and how they used it, I think that's more important part. They just feel like a very different team from the previous FSL series playoffs. Like I've never seen them play so decisively. Like they've always been aggressive, but this time around they're aggressive and decisive, and their use of utility is just absolutely amazing. And it looks like for picks, it's gonna be the Raze again. Like you mentioned, the satchels are gonna be really good. And Meow 16K, we've seen her on the Raze. She's really good with the satchels. Casper on the Astra though, instead of an Omen, which I think can be good as well if they have really quick communications, right? Astra can help across various sites. Even if she's defending B, she can easily assist on A with her stars. And I think that using Astra for Asteria, which is actually pretty good in terms of like they're both like starry names.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, speaking of that, we might actually have our lineup right here. Well, we got most of the part, but this is interesting.
Yep.
Raze, Astra, Phoenix, Killjoy, and Sova for Asteria. Jet, Killjoy probably for Komorebi, with Omen, Sova, and Phoenix. So basically, for the side of Komorebi Hearts, especially if I'm not mistaken, are they the defenders for the start of this match? Wait, For number, okay, Asteria is going to be the defender side for this one, so they can heavily like utilize their utilities here, especially once Casper is able to get that ult. It can easily deny aggression, at least in pushing the sites. And you can because there are some lineups, especially in A, you put that in heaven or you put that near A main, you deny entry. And of course, we do know that because of this ult, it muffles out the sound, so it will try and hesitate or let Komorebi Hearts hesitate into actually entering. But right now, everything is still gonna start off with this pistol round.
Yeah, and pistol rounds really kind of dictate the pace in the game. Let's actually see if KOMOREBI Hearts are going to be ready for this attack, because we've seen them on split. They didn't seem very decisive on the attacking side, and they don't have a Sky, but they do have a Phoenix for a hard flash to try to get into the site. So let's see if they can use this Phoenix to their advantage.
And right now, starting it off, Britzy here, just waiting for the right moment to get that shock dart. But they are going to be here in towards Cubby. Will not be knocked down. But right now, we do see a lot of utilities being spent here as 3 goes in towards short, checks out the corners here. They are able to go ahead and proceed with the post-plan situations. But let's see. Retake now is the name of the game for Asteria. And if I'm not mistaken, there are still no casualties left, but they are injured. There's some chip damages here, so the aim duel between Meow 16 and Kara will go into defeat. Casper to follow through as well. Lolita for the trade. Let's see if it goes well. Muffin Loop spots out Lolita in towards Wine. That gun be detected by the recon ball, but Muffin Loop to end it here and to start it off Asteria with a successful retake into the second match.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to say. Like, look, they were actually decisive this time. KOMOREBI Hearts, we saw them get into the site without any, without stopping. Like they just held W, stopped a little bit for this Astra stun, got into the site, but they couldn't do anything against Asteria. They were just sharper. And at this point, I just have to ask, what else do you have left in attack, KOMOREBI Hearts? Like they need to really show up here because they had control over the site, and a 5v5 retake is typically good for attackers, but they just couldn't hold it. They only took down 2 defenders. And it looks like it's gonna be another push. Now it's a very decisive B side execute. Asteria though, even with those ghosts, Muffin Loop already with a triple kill. Now 16k gets a kill of her own as well, and it's all down to Kero. They actually force bot here. So on the KOMOREBI Hearts, they only took 1.
And that's gonna damage them in towards coming in for our third round, because they're gonna be forced to use some pistols and half armors here. So you can safely say that it may be another round for Asteria, unless of course they turn the tides. And when I say turn up the tides, like sometimes other people do this. What they do is, because they're only using pistols, they really go full-on aggression to a certain site. Then again, because of better weaponry, Asteria may have a high chance of winning this third round. And unless, of course, I'm corrected otherwise. Muffin Loop, you're already acquiring an operator. This is looking pretty good for them, to say the least. So because you have to consider the weapon as well, it kind of forces KOMOREBI to isolate their fights now.
Yeah, and you mentioned the operator. I think that's just an extreme sign of confidence here, because round 3 typically is a bonus round, right? But because KOMOREBI Hearts forced in round 2, they tried to go for a change in pace and tried to overwhelm Asteria, but they didn't, and they couldn't. Because of that, Asteria, their bonus round is extended, right? Like they have Spectres against pistols right now, and they feel brave enough to buy an operator. That's how confident they are at this point. Casper getting 1 kill. Does not get a second though, but Meow 16k is there to trade. Britzy gets 1 kill as well, and Muffin Loop with the operator. There's the kill. It's all down to Cass with a sheriff here. Let's see if she can get the shots. Gets 1 on Britzy. Does not get the headshot. Playing whack-a-mole right now. Oh no, Shrey gets the headshot onto Cass. The whack-a-mole game. Just not her game.
Indeed, and of course we did see that Shrey was victorious in towards that fight. So right now, for the side of KOMOREBI Hearts, they to me at least, they can go for a very risky play of having full-on aggression to a certain site, most specifically B, because they've been attempting A time and time again, and they did try mid-control this time. So if they were to at least take Shrey back in towards the site and forces the utility out, maybe they can have a better opening, to say the least. But right now, Muffin Loop in towards mid link with the operator. That's actually a nice smoke coming in from the Omen. Takes the warning shot here just to prevent anyone from going in further. But that's not going to stop KOMOREBI Hearts at this moment, because Meow 16 here, very near the vicinity, waits for that side to go in. That's their cue. That's 1. Make it another very good spray transfer from Meow 16k. Make it a 3. Uses the showstopper satchel above. Not going to spot out 1, to say the least. But look at this. Cass is quite stuck here in towards B. That's going to be the showstopper. But Cass here can go for that sneaky play. But look at all of these utilities being thrown at them at the moment. That's going to deny Meowk for the 4K. But Britzy to end it up with their 4th point.
Yeah, I don't have much to say right now. Asteria they're just better. They have better aim, they have better teamwork. You look at the utility usage they have. Look at the smoke here. Actually denying the attackers instead. They didn't check the corners there because of the support fire coming from Meow's teammate. Like they shot at mid, and because of that, they were too distracted to check the corners, and Meow was able to get a triple kill with a spray transfer there. And even flushing out Cass, you can see the utility coming in already. They knew where she was, and they knew that they could not just stop with dry peeking her. They used all their utilities, threw every single utility at her to make sure they flush her out.
Loving the confidence, as you mentioned, by Meow 16 here, really going full force in towards this corner. The moment you peek, you get crossfired at this point, so they need to be very careful. That's going to be the drone We'll be seeing one though, but Meow16 still has an answer to that. And we do see, is it going to be another one? Very nice spray coming in from Meow16 right now. That's going to be a flash. Oh, exquisite. Exekeys is going to be missing that, but still manages to take down 16k in the process. That's going to be an updraft to be shut down by Britzy. And with Exe only the remaining member here with only a Marshall to deal with, so he has to force the angles in his favor. That's going to be one. Oh, not going to be stopped by Britzy here as he gets the second kill in towards the 5th round.
Yeah, it's gonna take some Herculean effort to actually win a 1v3 with the Marshall, because you're gonna have to hit all nutty headshots there.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem here, the operator has been in Muffin Loop's hands since round number 3, and they still haven't found an answer to that. And it's really the confidence. You get to see how confident they are. They just keep pushing out. They're getting what they want, and they're getting away with it. I think that's the scariest part about Asteria right now, is that if you're KOMOREBI Hearts, you're already a map behind, and you're in the back foot still in your own map pick.
Indeed, and the fact that they are confident despite being a defender side, that is a big thing. So that's going to be Pain Shells. Your timing is impeccable, but Meow16 still will get one from the Pain Shells, if I'm not mistaken, taking down Strawberry. And Britzy here takes a peek. I know she saw that. She saw that. That's going to be one. Will be forced to reposition. That was actually good discipline and timing for Britzy. That's going to be Shock Dart here because it was detected, but forces to go back anyway. But right now, Exed owing the best he can, but Cass misses, actually takes it with Muffin Loops off, misses it out, goes for that jiggle piece for both sides of the team, and Executes already gets that kill. Finally, 2 versus 3 still on the clock. Casper is trying to hide in towards the smoke, so they have to be very careful when entering this. They could double peek, but at the same time, the placements of Asteria. Oh, okay. Maybe I jinxed it. That's a beautiful smoke kill coming in from Cass. Will be using, I guess, his shadows in towards a short. Let's see. It's a 2 versus 2 now. Oh, make it 1. The flanking capabilities. The spray transfer not going to be, but Casper takes the opportunity of Executes looking at a different angle and locks in the 6th point.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for KOMOREBI Hearts. I mean, they've tried. Okay, this time it was a bit too late, I feel. Like, you're already 0-6, and 0-6 is, it feels bad, right? Like, if you go for a timeout to re-strategize at 0-4 maybe, in their buy round, when they were down 0-4, I think that would have been more prudent.
Indeed,
and the reason for that is because you're not in that mental hole yet. When you're in 0-6, at this point, you're gonna have to, number 1, strategize, and number 2, dig yourself out of this mental hole. And I think for KOMOREBI Hearts, they're gonna have to dig deep.
Yeah, and they also have to double the effort here, because since this is first match, okay, 6-0, not the best scoreline that you want. So you want to really grind and get as much points as possible. Because, okay, sure, we do know that a Killjoy can also be very heavily utilized, especially on defender's side. But if you don't really get the points as intended, specifically, then it's going to place you in a position wherein you can't lax, and every round will count. So right now, we do see timeout is already done, and let's see how KOMOREBI Hearts is going to adjust to this, because right now, maybe they're going to hold at least for at least a few seconds before trying to push a site, based on how they're placing themselves right now. So let's see, maybe mid control is the play. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe they're gonna try to punish a push, but right now they don't really have the gun. So I find it that timeouts are best used when you have like a full buy ahead of you, so that you're ready for that. But right now they just ecoed, or like half buy, so they're not really prepared for this. And Muffin Loop gets the first kill on Takero. This operator has been an extremely huge problem for KOMOREBI Hearts.
Indeed, a threat as well. So it's going to be destroyed here. Shrey will be repositioning, but that was a nice attempt. Whips of it for Casper, but that nice spray transfer to redeem that. And look at the spike is already in their hands. Lolita here was able to enter the site, but no reply for the other members. as she is the only member remaining. So the 1v4 clutch may happen, but look at this. Lolita still gets Britzy from behind. But look at this. Muffin Loop spots it out, uses the flash. Let's see if it's another attempt here. Because look at Casper going in from her behind right here. Let's see if it's gonna go. Muffin Loop here is just basically buying some time. Look at Casper from behind, maybe, trying to get it. But Lolita still gets a 3K in the process, but it's still the points that matters here. 7-0, not your best scenario.
Yeah, and they still recover the operator. That's the biggest thing here. Like, this operator has persisted since round number 3. And really, look at that crisp second kill from Casper. It's just absolutely amazing how well Asteria are playing. And finally, KOMOREBI Hearts have a full buy in them. 5 Vandals, 5 full armor. They better be ready to at least take this one round.
And yeah, as well as the utilities that's coming in from these, really it's impeccable. And right now, so Stopper will be taking one down, make it another for Muffin Loop as she helps a comrade here, Lolita, for the trade. Spots out Muffin Loop, manages to diminish the health by low. And look at this, Muffin Loop now is using the blaze here, just so that she can get some amount of HP. That, I think, for the side of Lolita is an audio cue, just so that they can try to intimidate the members. But look at the double flanking coming from Asteria. That's going to be one from Cass. And Cass was able to deny that fact and forces Casper to go and reposition. And they are making their way towards A now. So let's see.
Yeah, let's see if they can actually do this, because this is the first time I think I've seen them even on a 3v3 for KOMOREBI Hearts. I think that they really need to win this one, because this is the best scenario they've been in so far. And they still have to contend with some stars and an operator, basically.
And that's going to be a pull coming in from Casper. Very nice smoke coming in from Cass, just so that they can get some space. That's a dash in. Has to be very careful of entering, but still manages to spot out Lolita. That's going to be one kill here. And not going to plant the spike. Oh, the spike is planted already, but was able to 3 Strawberry Bagel here. That's going to be another 4 Casper. And to end it all off, Britzy here just helps in terms of that angle. 8-0 now for Asteria. We are seeing a similar, dominance that they have basically carried out in towards match number 1.
Yeah, I think it's even more dominant this time around. And the reason I say that is because this is KOMOREBI Hearts' map pick. And I just haven't seen one round where I'd say, is this finally the round that they're going to get it? And KOMOREBI Hearts, they're really struggling here. Look at Strawberry Bagel is still holding an egg right now, 0-8-0 on that Phoenix. They're just denying everything that KOMOREBI Hearts is doing. Asteria are... The way they're playing together, the way they double peek with the showstopper plus the operator out into B lobby, it's just amazing. Like, you can tell they're extremely confident with their play. They know that they can back each other up. Meanwhile, on the side of KOMOREBI Hearts, you can see them just begging for one kill. Like, let's just get one kill at a time, but they just can't find those kills.
Indeed. And we do see that KOMOREBI Hearts is really having a struggle in terms of entering. So that's going to be the wall coming from the Phoenix. All right, but look at this. They are flashed through and through and concussed as well because of Casper. So Lolita here tries to smoke it all out. Swarm grenades here. But Trey already spots out Lolita Meow as well for a kill of her own. Let's see. Muffin Loop waits for a main. Trey is really popping off right now. That's going to be a 3K. Make it. Nope, not a 4K, as Casper just takes a kill away from Trey. And this is the 9th point now. This is just all too dominating for Asteria. It's as if, like, we're on a snowball party here. And it's going pretty well for Asteria because this is a flawless fight. 9th point. Like, the more we do see, they're very healthy in terms of economy for Asteria. And right now, KOMOREBI Hearts is really struggling because they look at the buys. It's really having them, damage at this point. So they need that miraculous factor here.
Yeah, they need to hit some like really crazy headshots and just go in, because really playing slow doesn't help, because Asteria can play fast if you're not fast enough. But if you play fast, Asteria know how to punish because their rotations are just too good. And I think I really don't know what to say about KOMOREBI Hearts right now. What can they pull out of the bag? Because it's just so difficult to get anything against Asteria. Look, Meow 16k immediately with a kill onto Strawberry Bagel, who really just can't find a kill.
And this may be a similar scenario again from the previous rounds that we've had. Okay, they are able to at least breach down the half of mid since Lolita is in the vicinity. But look at this, there's a crossfire that can go on from Britzy and Meow 16k, so that's going to be a boom bot destroyed. So peak, that's going to be actually Lolita taking down one, and Cairo as well with a kill of her own. So right now this is a good transition from them from the mid towards Cubby, and let's see, because Killjoy doesn't have the utilities here since she was taken down. Let's see, Casper though still not neglecting the flanking capabilities, gets one. So look at the stars usage over here. Lolita with a little bit of a jiggle peek coming in from Casper will be taken down by Casper actually into that timing as well. So Britzy with the Hunter's Fury not going to get anyone though, but executes, and Cass needs to reposition because they might go on collateral here. That's going to be a wallbang. Cass takes one. Britzy for a trade, and Casper to end it up with the 3k. 10-0 already there. This may be a dominant, this is maybe, you know, a potential clean first half for Asteria.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but like it was a 4v3 for KOMOREBI Hearts. They had the man advantage. They were one up, and basically they couldn't even hold that. And I think Asteria Casper was just too good. I really it's just really at a loss for words right now. They had the operator for the longest time. They don't need it anymore. They're sticking with the guns right now. Like Strawberry Bagel really just can't find a kill, and I feel bad for her because she's the entry, but as she goes in, she's just met with a spray of bullets every single time, and her teammates just can't find the trades either.
Yeah, I think they need to really go full on aggression here, and I mean they can utilize like double peaks to and fro in towards the map, but the thing is the utility that is used. So okay, we are starting to see Strawberry Bagel trying to enter as well with Lolita, so this is going to be a smoke. This is intel to say the least for Shrey. That's going to be a flash in. A lot is happening right now, but still executes, and Lolita gets a 2k of their own Muffin Loof to get one before actually dying. But right now 3 versus 4, they can do this, but they have to take out of the flanking capabilities. That's a potential strafe transfer, but Casper just takes one. Cass for the trade. They can do this. All they have to do is just basically go for double peaks. They have the numbers advantage, so they can do that.
Yeah, they can go for these trades, but if Britzy can just catch someone, then it's down to 2v2. I mean, we've seen KOMOREBI Hearts lose even with one agent up, and I think that Asteria is still going to be really scary. There's a drone being used. Meow 16k. She's one of the stellar players for Asteria. I mean, they're all playing really well, but here's the lockdown being used as well. I think this might be the round for KOMOREBI Hearts to actually get this. Oh, does she actually have lineups for this? No, it's actually just a recon. Meow 16k with an immediate double kill. She does get detained though. Do you know where Karo is? She is already in market. If Britzy can get this kill, she does get the kill. Do they have the time for the defuse? They just need to find the spike, and oh my god.
Did they have time?
They have the time.
They actually do have the time with .36. And that was super close now for the members of KOMOREBI Hearts, but then again, they were up on their knees. And just like that, they were able to defuse a spike, still keeping the streak into their hands. Wow, I have no words.
Yeah, look, I thought they actually got that, but 0.3 seconds remaining. That's a KOMOREBI heartbreak if I've ever seen one.
Indeed. What else does KOMOREBI Hearts have to do here? They should deny, to say the least, this remaining round in here for them. So Kairo here spots out Meow 16k, but still gets the kill. And Lolita for the trade in towards A. So this could be their chance to be all dominating. Goes in towards the smoke, but luckily that was the ult. So at least that's information now. So Lolita was able to get it down. They have an idea that someone is in heaven, so they need to watch out for that. Use the shrouded step above generators. So let's see. they are already going for the retake. Boombot to be placed for some intel. Denied it. Takes the peek, still gets the headshot. Muffin Loop for the kills, but making
What?
a nice transfer from Meow 16K. Beautiful angle isolation. Gets the 4K to boot. And with that, 12 points straight.
It's 12-0. It's absolutely
Uh,
insane.
tw-
Oh no,
yeah,
I think
12, yeah, 12 rounds rather straight from Asteria. Denies any point from Komorebi Hearts.
Switching sides.
This is,
Match point.
at this point, Komorebi Hearts is like walking on a thread. Every single round from this will matter for them. It's as if you're speed running, you know? It's like,
Yep.
it's not supposed to have this speed run, but then again, it is. But right now, Komorebi Hearts is in a position wherein every single round counts, and they need to win this pistol if they want to deny that potential 13-0 into
Yeah.
this matchup.
You know, like they really need a pistol round, and I'm not saying that just because, you know, if they lose this, of course 13-0 already, but like even if it was 11-1, losing the pistol is just GG already. And I don't know if
Oh.
Komorebi Hearts have it in them, but they do get a first kill, starting to look good for them. But we've seen this over and over again where it looks starting to look good, but then suddenly Asteria just take over. Now it's a 4v3. Let's see if Komorebi Hearts can keep this up.
Indeed. So Keiro, KV was able to get down in towards middle side into catwalk, but Meow 16 still takes the trade. 2 versus 3 now. Komorebi can utilize this because they have numbers advantage, and take note, this is attackers, so they can just go and wait. So right now, Meow 16K will they're basically gonna go for the rotate for Britzy and Meow as well. So I think this could be a cue for at least 1 or 2 of them to rotate as well, since again they have numbers advantage, they can go for double peaks. But is this a fake though from Asteria?
Yeah, it seems like a big debate, and if they can
Oh,
sell this well, I think they're just gonna overwhelm Strawberry Bagel here, who hasn't been having a good day.
definitely. But you know what? Strawberry Bagel can utilize this
seconds left.
corner because usually, like when you go in towards A main, you'd look right to left first. But let's see if that goes here. That's gonna be a recon bolt. Not letting them get detected right here. Strawberry Bagel takes 1, and that's the cue. Basically, Strawberry Bagel may go for the revenge, but no, is denied. Plants the spike now for
10
Britzy.
seconds left.
Is the shock dart going to
Spike
push
planted.
through? It lacks a little bit, but right now, let's see. Britzy
Oh,
still
no!
been set up, but the shock dart goes and takes the fight, and at least denying that 13-0. Komorebi Hearts takes their first point.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a mountain to climb, right? Like, it's not even mountain, it's probably the size of 2 Mount Everests at this point, because there's 11 rounds in a row that they need to win. And for someone like, for a team like Asteria, look, they're not messing around. Look at their buys.
Yes.
They're not gonna force buy in this round, even though they can. They're just going with some pistols here and then calling it a day, because I've seen some teams when they're on match point, they just force and then they try to win. But Asteria playing extremely disciplined still. They can buy full guns the next round, except for Muffin Loop, who's I guess feeling herself a little bit with that sheriff. And
Yeah.
but I mean, if she gets the kills here,
Well,
okay, she
time and
actually
time
stole it.
again, because of their current round scores, it's pretty evident up to this point that Asteria has that confidence. So right now, yes, I do agree with you. You took the word right out of my mouth. The discipline for Asteria, they're regardless of the scoreline, they're respecting Komorebi Hearts, and that's a good thing. So that's gonna be a triple peak in for Strawberry Bagel here. Lolita has to be very careful when entering. Look at all of these utilities now for the sides of Asteria. This is the paint shells to deny any push coming in from Cubby. And right now they're planting the spike. Cass has to be very sneaky in towards the smoke. Now they already know that someone is in there. So that's 1 right click. Is it going to be another? Nope, as Cass has better weaponry. But 4 versus 3 on the clock. Meow 16 waits in towards this corner. Let's see if she can too utilize this one. Because right now it's not in your line of sight. Keiro takes a martial kill, but Meow 16 denies the fact. And let's see. 2 versus 2. Uses the recon bolt at the moment. Is it going to be a defuse? Right now. Goes in towards it, but Cass gets the 3K. Can this be? Nope. It's a denial now for the from the win, and this is their second point. But do take note, Key, that was a save. They have better weaponry now in towards this round. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty much GG here because honestly, like probably Karo should be buying a Vandal or a Phantom here because you're on match point. Like you can't really afford to lose a single round, and I think that they should be utilizing. There we go. There's the buy onto Lolita for the Vandal. They should be utilizing every bit of economy they have to win every single round. They have to make sure that they have the best possible chance of winning every single round because there's no saving here. Once you lose, you lose. And I think that they really need to pull off a miracle here because there's 5 rifles that they have to face off against right now.
But look at this. They were able to take in the mid control that we did see that KOMOREBI Hearts was trying to take earlier, but that's going to be an actually Ares 2K from Execuse. Really nice positioning right now. Can this be a start of their momentum? So right now, that's going to be a shock dart here. Strawberry Bagel will get the kill that she wanted. And look at this, Karo's trying to pop it off. And look, flawless fight this time. Can this be the start of their momentum? But, you know, again, you did mention it's a tough climb. 3 to 12, they need more points. And they have to take into consideration that it's like their last life, you know? It's like, you know that in video games, wherein
Yep.
you have 3 lives, this is the remaining life you have left. There's no extra life here. So, KOMOREBI Hearts has to really take note of that.
I feel like it's even worse than their last life. It feels like they're on their last stand. You know, like when you're down, then you only have a pistol remaining, and then you're gonna have to fight off a horde. And Asteria, I mean, they're really not messing around. They're saving again just to make sure that they really secure the win. They're not forcing. Like I mentioned, it's just that discipline really. They're still in pistols again, and light buys, but they're still not to be discounted, right? We've seen them wreck with pistols.
Yes, indeed. And I think also the good part here is that basically Asteria placed themselves in a position wherein they can, you know, have some setbacks, which I have seen this also from yesterday. So down we go in towards the B post plant potential for the side of Asteria and retakes for KOMOREBI Hearts. So I like though the discipline here. They go for retakes. So maybe they're trying to isolate the fights. They're trying to use the utilities to show away the members. But let's see. Oh, there haven't seen it. That's gonna be one, not gonna be another. As Lolita goes for a shutdown, but Trey with a 2K cast for the shutdown. 3 to 2 members right here. Meow onto towards the corner. Cast gets one. There's gonna be another here. Look at that spray, make it a 3K. Britzy takes one, but he just needs to buy time. And right now, that is a thrifty win round for Asteria. 13 to 3. Congratulations to their team.
Yeah, so Asteria make their way to the upper bracket finals where they have to fight the winner of Mad Army versus Vitality Estelle. And they played really well. Right? Like, I mean, it was almost a 13-0. And 13-3 doesn't really show how one-sided this map was. I mean, it still looks very one-sided, don't get me wrong. But it was a 12-0 half for them. It's absolutely amazing how Asteria are playing right now. And if they keep this up, I can easily say that they're one of the 2 teams that will pass through wildcards, even with the ping disadvantage they're playing at.
Indeed. And just looking at the scoreboard quickly right here, Meow 16K really dominating with 22 kills and 4 assists as well. 7 first bloods. So basically you guarantee that every time she entries, she gets that head. And that's really amazing. For Cass, you have to commend KOMOREBI Cass as well because she was starting to pop off in the later parts of the game. But unfortunately, the score line wasn't enough. And basically the time they weren't in a position wherein they can go for that, you know, complete pop off that could have come from KOMOREBI Hearts. Casper with the utilities, man, it really helped a lot with their team to basically dominate in towards our matches. And if you notice the other members as well, of Asteria, their utilities as well as their backups were really, really, going with the rhythm of the top fraggers of their team. For KOMOREBI, unfortunately, they were not able to really, you know, go all out, especially towards the defender side of Asteria and their attacking side. Unfortunately, they were not able to do it. But right now, at the end of the day, still commendable for both sides of the teams. I'm pretty sure KOMOREBI Hearts will come back stronger here. And right now, congratulations to Asteria.
Yeah, they're just too good, too strong, and too fast right now for KOMOREBI Hearts, and Asteria are really showing what they're made of, really showing how much they've retooled. I mean, this is not a completely new roster, but they did change a few members, and basically this new lineup is looking really good. Some of them changed roles, some of them changed agents, but it's looking so much better than they've ever performed before. They already look good. They were always at the cusp of making a deep playoff run, but never really made it that deep. But this time around, they're showing what they're really made of, and they're trying to prove, and I think they will prove that they do deserve that spot in FSL Elite.
Definitely. But right now, Asteria, since from yesterday, they've been very, very dominating. But we will get to see more action here. But first, we're going to take a quick break. My name's Zero, and with me is Key. We'll be right back.